This craftsmanship. Don't miss the Banner Bank and
Zippity doo-dah, zippity day, my oh my, it's Wednesday, 20th day of September, 2023. I'm Dan Kuntz, wake up Wenatchee Valley, good to see you. How are you? A little bit of light rain about an hour ago on my out and about, and was walking into the office, and I thought, what was that? I thought maybe a bird had done something to me. A little bit of light rain came and went. A little bit of light rain still possible. Significant, this is the day 2 of these 2 systems, the parade of systems, not much of a parade, but that came through. One was yesterday, the other one is now today. It's already working its way through. To the north of us, going to be quite windy. Waterville Plateau, Okanagan, out in the Columbia Basin, you're going to be dealing with some significant winds today, not so much here in the Wenatchee Valley, but still windy. It's going to feel like autumn. We still got 2 more days, almost 3 full days of summer still to come. The autumnal equinox is Friday night at 11:50, 10 minutes before midnight. And since we're doing the football game on Friday night over in East Wenatchee, I will probably be awake when autumn officially comes. Your forecast is on the way. Basically, fairly common weather, nothing really crazy out there to talk about, but we'll let you know what Mother Nature has in store for us. In news, yes, lots. We're going to check that box in a big way. In sports, pretty good. Mariners won. They won 7-2. They beat Oakland. It's too bad we can't play Oakland every game for the rest of the year, but we can't. It doesn't work out that way. The Rangers won, but the Astros lost. Things are really getting tight, not only in the American League West, but in the wild card race. Highlights of last night's Wenatchee Panther West Valley Ram volleyball match that we were very proud to bring to you here on the NCW Life channel. And Wenatchee won. Highlights of that as well. Mike McNally's got an opinion. It's about check stands. When you go to the grocery store and your only option is self-checkout. Mike doesn't like that. He'll talk about that. And Jenny Kerstetter, our really good friend Jenny Kerstetter from the Hope Care Clinic, they got a brand new home. And they needed a brand new home, and they have a brand new home on North Wenatchee Avenue. And their big fundraiser is this Sunday. If they're good people, they do good work. They need to be recognized, and they also need a little bit of money. Jenny Kerstetter will be joining me in the back half of the program. Always good to talk to her. Well, her heart's in the right place. We need more Jennies around here is what we need. Let's go ahead and take our tour around the Wenatchee Valley. The Wenatchee Heights camera shows you a little bit of that rain that passed through about an hour ago. Looks like there's still some light rain maybe up in the Aniat area and up in Chelan. We'll check up in Chelan in the not too distant future. We could use the rain. We know that. We are in a drought, in a big drought. It's 54 degrees, by the way. Yesterday's high, 72. Not going to get there today. Probably not even going to get to 70 today. Our normal high is 76, so we're in a bit of a cool pattern. 12 hours and 18 minutes of daylight. We're losing about a little over 3 minutes of daylight a day, about 3 minutes and 15 seconds of daylight less today than we had yesterday. Sunrise was at 6:45 this morning. Sunset tonight will be at 7:03. To Ephrata we go. Pretty cool view there. About 10 minutes ago, that was in black and white, but now they have enough ambient light for the camera to automatically change to color. The seat of Grant County, Ephrata, chimes in. You can see the guy wires that help support the tower and the sun beginning to creep up. It's going to be windy in Ephrata today, by the way, folks, as you can probably tell. And those towers are designed to move around. They're supposed to sway with the wind. They can't have them too entrenched in concrete, or if a big wind comes, they'll just fall over, and you don't want that. Set up to the Lake Wenatchee area in Coles Corner. Lots of clouds up there, some low-hanging fog as well. It's probably in the 40s up there. We're going to have overnight lows in the 40s for the next couple of days. That has not happened here in the Wenatchee Valley for a long time, but it's going to be a little cool at night, which is fine. I haven't had my air conditioning on now for a few days. And to Lake Chelan we go, our Lower Butte camera. Good morning to the Three Fingers. Good morning to the Marina. And almost all of Chelan proper is well within view. That's a beautiful view there. And of course, this is a great time of the year to head up to Lake Chelan. Tourists are all but gone, but everybody else is still hanging around. And of course, the people in Chelan are warm and friendly people to begin with. So if you get a chance, this is a good time to go up to Lake Chelan if you like pleasant weather but not hot and not a whole bunch of people all over the place. This is the time of year for you to visit Lake Chelan. Did I mention it's going to be breezy to the north? It's going to be breezy to the north. North winds about 30 miles an hour gust-wise. Going to blow up in the Okanagan Valley, Waterville Plateau. It's going to change directions tomorrow to the northeast. It's going to be windy tomorrow too in the upper Columbia Basin, the Waterville Plateau, and the Okanagan Valley. So it's going to be breezy not only today but tomorrow. And for the Columbia Basin, probably a little windier tomorrow than today. But although we're going to be a little windy today, not very much, we're going to have a little bit more wind tomorrow as well. But it's going to be quite windy on Wednesday and Thursday. Again, the occasional gust about 30 miles an hour for the Okanagan Valley and the Waterville Plateau and the Columbia Basin, especially tomorrow for you folks out in Moses Lake, Ephrata, Soap Lake, and etc. From the National Weather Service, that way if you don't like the weather, you can blame the government. Some light rain this morning. Eventually, the clouds will be departing, but we'll call it partly cloudy. Partly cloudy. It'll be more clouds than sun, but we're still going to see the sun peek out a little bit. And the occasional rogue raindrop will be visiting us. 66 our high, about 10 degrees below normal. Close to 40, close to the 40s, I should say, 49 or 50 for the overnight low. It depends really on how much cloud cover we have. If the clouds clear out in the early evening hours and we have a clear overnight, we could see that overnight low temperature for the first time in a long time dip down into the 40s. We're going to say 50 just to play it safe. Lots of sunshine, quite a bit of wind on Thursday. We start warming back up again for the last full day of summer with a high of 71. Friday, we say goodbye to summertime with summertime kind of weather. Sunshine, warm, pleasant, very nice day. It's going to be a great night for football on Friday night. 74 our forecast high on Friday. To the weekend we go. And we welcome autumn with partly cloudy skies and a high of 75. And then another system comes in Saturday night into Sunday. And most of next week, the long-term forecast for Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and really for the balance of next week as we are really full on into autumn is unsettled, is what they say. And I have no problems with unsettled weather if that means precipitation. That I will take. All right, that's your forecast. It's 7 minutes after the hour. Come right back and we'll have the news for you. You're watching a Wednesday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Live channel.
We're turning up the heat with the hottest deals of the year. Right now, during the hot summer clearance sale, only at Click It RV. #1 in sales and service. The best RV brands. Over 1,000 to choose from. And the best deals of the year on remaining 2023 model year-end clearance with incredible 30% off. Brand new RVs discounted up to 30%. Save thousands. Plus, no payments until 2024. During the hot summer clearance sale, now only at Click It RV. 5 superstore locations. Hurry in today.
At Confluence Health, our mission is clear: to provide exceptional care for our community. We believe in healthcare that's personal and local because we're just like you, members of this great community.
We are Confluence.
Local care by and for our community.
Local care by and for our community.
Local care by and for our community.
We are Confluence.
The 29th Annual Banner Bank and BNCW Home Tour and Remodeling Expo is set for September 22nd through the 24th. This year, they have 8 trend-setting homes by some of the most talented builders around. From entry-level to the premier custom homes, you'll find innovative ideas, special design features, dynamic floor plans, and the finest craftsmanship. Don't miss the Banner Bank and Building North Central Washington Home Tour and Remodeling Expo.
Hey, welcome back to Save Mart. What can we help you find today?
We're looking for a mattress.
Oh, right this way. We got a large selection. We have this pillow top here.
Oh, comfortable.
We have more to choose from down here.
Oh.
I think I have the perfect one over here for you.
I guess we'll take this one.
You'll find it at Save Mart. Full service at a low, low price.
Some light rain in pockets, but for the most part, it's just overcast, 54 degrees. We'll mid to upper 60s, some passing rain, a few sun breaks this afternoon. A little windy today, very windy today and tomorrow in Waterville, up in the Omak-Okanagan area, and out in the Columbia Basin. Not too windy here in the valley. It's 10 minutes after the hour. A suspect in an August 2022 drive-by shooting was sentenced Monday to more than 9 years in prison. 19-year-old Octavio Medina Cuevas pled guilty to first-degree assault in the shooting that left a victim with a non-fatal wound. It happened in the 1600 block of South Mission Street, again in August of 2022. Judge Travis Brandt sentenced Medina to 111 months in prison. Back in February, his co-defendant in the case, 17-year-old Angel Laura Sedano, received an identical sentence for his part in the shooting, as well as a charge of witness tampering for threatening a person who was likely to testify at trial. The Chelan County Jail is reluctant to hold a murder suspect accused of attacking one of its guards. Benito Eduardo Licia is expected to enter a plea in Superior Court for the fatal shooting last year of David Vasquez on South Methouse Street. Licia has been held in state prison since May. That's when he and another inmate allegedly stabbed and injured a corrections deputy inside the jail. Licia's attorney has asked a county judge to order him brought back to Chelan County for future court hearings. But the administrator of the jail, Chris Sharp, entered a formal objection this week saying, and I'm quoting now, "Our facility and staffing levels are not designed to deal with this type of individual for longer periods of time," end quote. In addition to the murder case, Licia still faces charges of attempted murder and prison riot for the attack on that corrections deputy. The Chelan County Regional Justice Center will be holding a memorial service for the K9 Kate, the drug-sniffing, narcotics-detecting dog at the Chelan County Regional Justice Center. Kate passed away unexpectedly last month after suffering a series of health complications. Kate and her handler, Deputy Jacob Lewis, began working together at the jail in November of 2020, making regular appearances at local events, schools, and together amassed close to 70,000 followers on TikTok. It's a public memorial service. It'll be Saturday, October 7th. There'll be an honor guard, there'll be speakers and K9 handlers from outside the area. It'll be at 11 a.m. again on Saturday, October 7th at the Wenatchee First Assembly Church on McKittrick Street here in town. Come Monday, students officially return for the first day of school to campus at Wenatchee Valley College. At the main campus, they'll be greeted by several modern new buildings and the new president, Dr. Famous Harrison, who took over leadership at Wenatchee Valley College in January. He told our own Jefferson Robbins that as the COVID pandemic recedes, he wants more students to pursue their academic careers on campus and in person.
Our objective is how do we prepare students to be successful? I've made some strategic restructuring of the college and even positions, really to look at the village, how we're all interconnected. So when we're thinking about preparing students for future jobs, future careers, future aspirations, technology has a place, online learning has a place, but it's at the end of the day, it's about relationships. You're not going to have the same experience online as you are having this opportunity, like you and I, to have to be able to engage. So when I think about creating the higher institution of choice for our region and beyond, I have to take in consideration having the best. We have amazing, talented faculty, right? So when you talk about the curricular experience, when you talk about the co-curricular experience, the extracurricular experience, experimental learning, when you think about interdisciplinary teaching, that involves engagement. When you think about the active learning classroom, the classroom, from my lens and my research as a former faculty also, is the learning environment is wherever we are, right? So I definitely want to make sure that we are preparing our students to be competitive locally, nationally, and globally.
You see the interrelationships people can forge by being on campus in person as being pretty crucial.
Absolutely, but I would also go a step further. When I talk about the village, when I talk about my philosophy of learning, my philosophy of learning is not even in the brick and mortar. My philosophy of learning is also involves engagement. So classroom, community, fields, wherever it is where we can really engage students, where we can work with industries, and when we can provide students the education, the research, the practical skills for them to be successful. So to me, yes, part of the equation is being on campus. A large part of the equation is being in the community, being accessible, ensuring that we're being responsive to the needs of our region and beyond. That's going to be critical. That's the role of state institutions, public colleges, is we need to be responsive to our constituents and stakeholders. And our students, more often than not, are a byproduct of the communities that we serve as well.
And speaking of Wenatchee Valley College, their big food truck festival is coming back for a second year. The college said this year's festival will be larger than last year's. They'll have more food trucks. They'll have a larger beer and wine garden. Now you're talking. There'll be a kids zone, no admission, no parking fee, but seating is limited. So if you want to go, and you should go, it'll be a blast. It's going to be held at the fountain right smack dab in the middle of campus. The idea is it's not a bad idea to bring like a blanket or a lawn chair so you have some place to sit. It's Friday, September 29th from 3 o'clock to 8 o'clock. And again, right smack dab in the middle of the campus where the big fountain is. You know where that is. All the proceeds, by the way, go to the Wenatchee Valley College Foundation. Sounds like a party to me. And that, my friends, is the news at 16 minutes after the hour. If you want to be in the loop about what's going on, we have a newscast for you at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock on television, or as we like to say in the business, TV. If you want to watch it on the web, you can do that as well. We have a website, ncwlife.com. You can watch the news on our Facebook page and on our homepage. And if there's something out there that you think is newsworthy, get a hold of us. Send us an email, news@ncwlife.com. All in all, a very good Tuesday night for the Mariners. First of all, the most important thing, they won. Where are we with the standings in the wild card with just a week of baseball left, right around there? I'll let you know in 2 minutes. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
The Clearwater Saloon and Casino has the best Vegas-style games in East Wenatchee. Come enjoy yourself and discover the nightly action. Win big and meet new friends at the Clearwater Saloon and Casino.
It's Manson Hydrofest, September 29th through October 1st on Lake Chelan. Pacific Northwest Power Boat Association racing teams will be duking it out to see who will take home the trophy. 11 classes of inboard hydroplanes, flat bottoms, vintage hydroplanes, tunnel boats, and junior hydros will tear up the waters of Lake Chelan. Admission is free. Manson Hydrofest, presented by Wine Girl Wine, Bob File Boats and Motors, 12 Tribes Lake Chelan Casino, and the Manson Chamber of Commerce.
Welcome to the Columbia Basin Dispute Resolution Center. We are a local nonprofit serving Grant and Adams counties, helping businesses and people resolve difficult issues so they can move toward a better future. We offer help with workplace disputes, residential issues, family matters, and can train your staff in conflict prevention and resolution skills. Call us at 509-237-8401 to learn more.
This is Grace, and this is her world record-holding guinea pig with an iconic name, Abby.
She currently holds the Guinness World Record for the highest bar jump by a guinea pig. I ride horses and I jump, so I kind of thought it'd be interesting to teach my guinea pig to jump like my horse does.
One day she came out of her room and looked at us, and I said, "Did you get it?" And she said, "Yeah, we got it."
After we won our award, we came to Abby's to celebrate.
19 minutes after the hour, the Mariners are now just a half game behind Houston in the division. In the American League West, they beat Oakland last night 7-2. Louis Castillo, 7 innings, 8 strikeouts, the 200th strikeout of the year. He got the victory. Jared Kelenic and J.P. Crawford got the offense going. Seattle wins game number 82.
One out, a man in scoring position. Kelenic kind of bites off the first pitch and drops this in for a base hit into left field. Suarez comes around third and scores. Jared Kelenic on his first swing of this series drives in a run, and the Mariners take an early 1-0 lead. Castillo's 0-2. He struck him out. It is strikeout number 200 for Luis Castillo, his second career 200 strikeout season, becoming only the 8th pitcher in franchise history to reach that historic milestone. It has been a brilliant season for the Mariners ace. 61 stolen bases this year for Ruiz. There he goes. Cal's throw, tag applied, and they got him at second base. One day, they'll stop testing Cal Raleigh. Kim takes off again, swing and a miss. Strike three, the throw, the tag. What a tag by Rojas! Wow! On both ends. That is as good as it gets from a second baseman. There is no challenge. Cal cuts down his second runner this inning, and he got some help from Josh Rojas at second base. This is dumping into left field for a base hit. Teoscar Hernandez pedals home. Here's the throw from Kemp. Play at the plate. Teoscar is safe. Kelnick tiptoes into second. Jared Kelnick has driven in both Mariners runs. It's 2-0 M's in the fourth inning. Kelnick giving this a chase over by the A's bullpen. Kelnick full steam ahead. Kelnick is able to track it down. A long throw to second base. Noda is in there safe. My goodness, Jared Kelnick going after that full force, and he gets it out.
He had to cover a lot of ground just to get in the area of it. I thought it had a chance to go in the stands. He stays with it the whole way. Fine play right there.
JP shoots this deep out to right field, and it's over Brown's head. Dylan Moore around second base. He's being waved home. Dylan headed to the plate. J.P. Crawford drives in a run. He smokes a double out to right field. And the Mariners add on 3-0 in the seventh inning. This is roped through the left side. Crawford hits third, coming home. Julio holds it second. Cal Raleigh drives in another run for the Mariners. 4-0 in the seventh inning. On the ground, past Allen into center field. Julio can take his time coming home. Cal Raleigh is now held at third. Teoscar with a run-scoring double. 3 runs across in the seventh tonight for the Mariners. They have opened it up. It's 5-0. It's boxed. Here comes Cal. He's steaming home. Can let up and score standing. The A's gift the Mariners a run on a silver platter. It's 6-0 now.
And they'll take it.
By WRC Plus. This is smashed down the line. J.P. Crawford, number 16, finally comes down to earth. That's a big run for the Mariners, and he just keeps on slugging this season.
Here is shortstop Nick Allen.
Gino's got this one hip high on to first, and that's your ball game. The Mariners win it. They've taken the series. They have a chance for the sweep tomorrow.
They have a chance to sweep today. As a matter of fact, George Kirby will pitch for Seattle. It is 12:37. First pitch. If you turn in at 12:38 on Root Sports Northwest, you'll miss the first pitch. In the meantime, Baltimore, they beat Houston for the second straight game, this time by 9-5 tally. The Astros are now 84-68. That puts them a half game better than Texas and Seattle. The Rangers beat the Red Sox 6-4, so they're tied with the Mariners for second place in the division. As far as the wild card is concerned, Seattle and Texas also tied for the third and final wild card playoff spot. Tampa Bay, they've already clinched, by the way, a playoff spot. They try to chase down Baltimore in the division. I don't know if that's going to happen. Toronto beat the Yankees, by the way, 7-1 to remain a game in front of Seattle in the wild card race. New York still has a chance at the postseason, but it ain't much. There are 11 games left to play. Wenatchee bounced back from a volleyball loss at Gonzaga Prep Saturday to pick up a sweep over West Valley last night. Panthers never trailed through the first 2 sets, but they fell behind early in the third set. Needed a big comeback to keep their Big 9 set winning streak alive. Their Big 9 set winning streak is still alive. Sebastian Maraga had the call last night right here on this very TV station.
Amy Tucker, and she's smiling big, I tell you. And that one closes the book on this first set, with Wenatchee taking it 25-15. Malia McMurray. The set. Oh, what a slam that time. From the left side, Bree Sackman. And it's set point Wenatchee. The crowd gets loud. The slam. Barbie on the dig. Tucker, Barry, the slam. And that one falls right in and closes the book on set number 2, 25-20. driving Miss Tucker. From the left side, Demergen. Tucker, soft touch, kept alive. The block, good block, great block by number 15, Maren Stuber. She would not give up on that ball, and the crowd erupts here at Wenatchee High School. 21-20 the lead for West Valley Yakima here in the third set, but with Wenatchee serving. Miss Tucker. Good block, strong, and we're tied. What a comeback by the Wenatchee Panthers here. There's the okay, the go-ahead from the upper referee. Ace, right at the nick of time. There's another serve for match point and set point. Soft touch. The slam, strong on the dig. Tucker buried the slam, and that closes the book. Astonishing comeback, 25-23, 3-0. Wenatchee over West Valley Yakima.
Yeah, we really had to prove ourselves. We did not play like ourselves in Gonzaga Prep, and so I think this just proves that we can come back from a loss like that and show who we really are. Speaking of comebacks, the third set, when West Valley sort of woke up a little bit, what did the team say to one another, and what did coach say to you to keep you focused, to keep you fighting, and be able to close this out in three? Just stay disciplined and play our game and really lean on each other, because if we're going to pull through a game like that, we need to lean on each other as teammates.
Yeah, absolutely. The first two sets were great, and then to see them battle back and take that third set, I couldn't be more proud of them for that. Now,
To what do you attribute the ability to come back from adversity? Is it the fact that this team has been to some pretty lofty heights in the past? Or is it the fact that it's mostly upperclassmen? What are the reasons?
Yeah, absolutely. We're a very experienced team. We got a lot of returners coming back who have been on varsity since they were freshmen. So they've been through those pressure moments, they've been through the big moments, and they know how to pull out the wins. So.
All right, to the Les Schwab Prep Volleyball scoreboard we go. Of course, Wenatchee won Eastmont. They fell to Eisenhower 3-1. Moses Lake swept 3 sets from Sunnyside. 25-11, 25-13, and 25-15. Cashmere blanked Ephrata. Zilla closed out Cascade, and Quincy swept Mabton. In B volleyball last night, Moses Lake Christian edged Pateras. Okanagan swept Orville. Lake Roosevelt topped Tonasket. Manson Blake Liberty Bell, and Brewster beat Bridgeport 3-0. Girls soccer, Eastmont still unbeaten. They beat Eisenhower last night 3-1. Wenatchee topped West Valley 5-2. Moses Lake shut out Sunnyside 3-0. Elsewhere, Othello edged Ephrata 2-1. Cashmere beat Ellensburg 3-1. Okanagan blinked Chelan. Not sure how, but Cascade played 2 games yesterday, coming out on top of East Valley 1-0 and Zilla 6-0. They're probably really tired today. And 2 scores that we know of from the Bees. Liberty Bell beat Pateras. Lake Roosevelt topped Orville, and we don't know about Brewster and Manson or Bridgeport and Manson and Brewster and Tonasket. If you know, let us know. All right, because we're pretty sure they played. And those are just some of the games that people are playing at 28 minutes after the hour. Happy National Pepperoni Pizza Day today. We eat, just in America, we eat 3 billion pizzas a year. We really like our pizza, but believe it or not, the pepperoni pizza is not #1 in popularity. The plain cheese pizza is the most popular pizza, which is nothing wrong with that, but you gotta put some pepperoni on it. Pizzas, of course, are Italian by nature, but it was in the 20th century when we started putting pepperoni on the pizza, so we can kind of, here in the United States, to kind of take credit for that. And pepperoni goes with almost anything. Pepperoni and sausage. In fact, I have the top 3 compliments to a pepperoni pizza. This is going to kill Mike. Number 3 is pepperoni and pineapple. Sorry, Mike, but it is. I look these things up. It's on the internet. It has to be true. Number 2, pepperoni, bacon, and onion. And number 1, one of my favorites, sausage and pepperoni. Good old-fashioned pepperoni pizza day today. But none for me. I am working. Today in history on this 20th day of September, right after this photograph was taken, pictured in this photograph, Yoko Ono, John Lennon, Alan Klein, who had just signed to be the Beatles' new manager, Paul McCartney and Ringo Starr. They had just signed their contract. George Harrison is not pictured. George was in Liverpool visiting his mother. He would sign the contract to bring Alan Klein on board a couple of days later. It was right after this meeting that John Lennon, Paul McCartney, and Ringo Starr met privately, just the three of them, and John Lennon told his bandmates that as soon as all of their business entanglements were straightened out, and there were a lot of interests involved, publishing and all kinds of different stuff, as soon as all of that stuff was resolved, he would be leaving the Beatles. John told the other three, or the other two anyway, that I'm out of here once we get all this paperwork taken care of. That was on this date in 1969. Take a look at the path of Hurricane Irene. That's not supposed to happen. It made landfall in Central America, Hurricane Irene, after going through the Gulf of Mexico, but it still had enough strength to make it through Central America into the Pacific Ocean. It regained enough strength to get hurricane status again. Hurricane Irene became Hurricane Olivia, the first known instance of a hurricane crossing from the Atlantic to the Pacific. And you have to cross right there or it ain't going to work. It's going to lose enough momentum to downgrade to a tropical storm and then die out altogether. But since it crossed over just a tiny little strip of land, it became a hurricane again. Eventually ended up in Baja, California. That's a long trip. Hope they brought their passport. That was on this date in 1971. Two significant things happened on this date 50 years ago today, September 20th, 1973, at the Astrodome in Houston, the Battle of the Sexes. Billie Jean King, 29 years old, takes on Bobby Riggs, 55 years old. $100,000 winner-take-all match, nationally televised. Howard Cosell, Wide World of Sports. Billie Jean King won, by the way. Got the $100,000. It was 1973. How many people watched this match on TV? 50 million people watched it on television on the evening of September 20th, 1973. And also on the evening of September 20th, 1973. Jim Croce, his guitarist, Murray Mulhausen, and 4 others killed when the small plane that they were flying in took off from a small regional airport in Louisiana and crashed into the woods shortly after takeoff. We lost Jim Croce also on this date 50 years ago today. Took a long time to figure out what had happened. They examined the plane. There was no mechanical issues with the plane. The weather was fine. The runway was dry. The weather was clear. How did this plane possibly crash under those circumstances? The official report was that the pilot, the charter pilot of the airplane, they didn't know it at the time, but they did the autopsy, had severe coronary artery disease that was undetected, and that he had jogged the 3 miles from the motel to the airport, and they say quite probably had some sort of medical episode while he was taking off. And that's why the plane went down 50 years ago today. The Woodward Stakes is one of the most prestigious horse races in this country. It's held at Belmont Park this time of the year. A lot of money. And we roll the tape of the 1980 Woodward Stakes, the 27th running of the Woodward Stakes at Belmont Park, just outside of New York City. Taking the lead, Spectacular Bid. We've sped up the tape here. It's 1 1/4 miles. What happens if they give a horse race and nobody comes? Well, this. All of Spectacular Bid's challengers dropped out of the Woodward Stakes. Spectacular Bid ran by itself. Now, this is a stakes race, which means the owners of the racehorses pay an entry fee, and then the first place gets like 60% of the gate or the fee, and second place gets like 20%. Anybody realize that anybody who finishes second is actually going to lose money when you put it all together, and so there was only supposed to be 5 horses in the race anyway. 2 of them dropped out, 1 said I'm injured, so all Bill Shoemaker had to do was simply not fall off the horse. Spectacular Bid wins the 27th running of the Woodward Stakes at Belmont Park in New York on Saturday, September 20th, 1980, all by himself. Needless to say, no betting was allowed. Everybody got their money back. They ran the race. I guess they had to. If you were around on this date in 1982, I certainly was. I was a senior in high school. You remember the football strike of 1982? 57 days. They said after week 2, we're striking. The Players Association did. They played week 1, they played week 2, and then they went on strike. And they stayed on strike, and they wiped 8 games right off the schedule. Gone Johnson. Week 3 all the way through week 16, and they made up a week 17, even though they didn't really have it. So they only had 9 regular season games in the NFL in 1982, and because of that, they just got rid of the divisions. They expanded the playoffs. The playoffs was supposed to be 10 teams in any normal year that year, back in 1982. They expanded it to 16 teams, and they simply said the 8 teams in the American Football Conference and the 8 teams in the National Football Conference that had the best records would make the playoffs. There were no division titles. That year, the NFL strike of 1982 began on this date, 41 years ago today. And finally, after 2,632 games and 16 years at Camden Park in Baltimore, September 20th, 1998, against the New York Yankees, Cal Ripken says it's time to end the streak, and here's how it went.
Welcome back to Oriole Park at Camden Yards, and this has been a season of historic moments with the home run chase, and we may witness another one tonight. Cal Ripken on the phone, presumably to the press box, and he is not in the lineup. This is just moments ago. Ray Miller exchanging lineup cards with Joe Torre and explaining that Cal Ripken supposedly went in to see Ray Miller and said, "I'm not injured. Please don't put me in the lineup tonight." And so young Ryan Miner will start at third base, and we apparently will see the end of the Ripken streak. So let me do it very quietly and spontaneously tonight and get it over with. Knobloch takes the first pitch from Doug Johns. Out of the Yankee dugout, since this is an official game it has started in, as a group, the Yankees left the dugout, gave Cal Ripken an ovation of their own out of respect, which was a very classy maneuver. And now the fans rise as one. Sensing what's happened, this may last a while.
Yep. It should. Hopefully not as long as the streak did, though.
Imagine showing up to work every day for 16 years. The streak comes to an end on this date in 1998. And finally, at 38 minutes after the hour, birthdays. Nothing wrong with Bugs Bunny, very funny cartoon, all the cartoons that I grew up with as a kid. But to me, the gold standard of cartoons, Rocky and Bullwinkle, Dudley Do-Right, The Adventures of Peabody and Sherman, Fractured Fairy Tales, all of them created by Jay Ward Studios. Now, the animation is just terrible, but the writing is fantastic, and the voiceover work is great. The great Jay Ward, the creator of Dudley Do-Right, Rocky and Bullwinkle, Peabody and Sherman, George of the Jungle, Super Chicken, Tom Slick, Underdog. Jay Ward, born in the state in 1920, and he also created Captain Crunch, who, by the way, is not a real captain. The last living member of the American Film Institute's 50 Greatest Screen Legends of the 20th Century. In the year 2000, they listed them 1 through 50, the 50 greatest screen legends of the 20th century. There's only one remaining living member of that club. Sophia Loren is 89 years old today, and Dale Chihuly is 82 years old. I could just stare at some of the glasswork that his studios have created forever. Lost sight, of course, in his left eye in a car accident in Great Britain in 1976. It's 40 minutes after the hour. Going to take a break. Mike Magnotti has a little opinion about checkout stands at your local grocery store. And then Jenny Kerstetter one of my all-time favorite people, and her organization, the Hope Care Clinic. They have a new home, and they have a fundraiser. Ginny will join me when we come back. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the Instant Live channel.
Walkabout Grill, open 7 days a week for lunch and dinner in downtown Wenatchee and now downtown Leavenworth, where eating out is eating healthy.
Somewhere behind these doors is a family member, often alone, taking care of a loved one with Alzheimer's or some other disability, or providing care for a loved one who is not ill but only aging and no longer able to care for themselves. In the field of caregiving, this is the home front. For the home is where most Americans will live out their last days. Contact Aging and Adult Care of Central Washington for a variety of services, including caregiving, meals, and medication help.
The Lake Chelan Chamber of Commerce presents Brews on the Bridge for one day only. On October 1st, the Old Bridge in historic downtown Chelan becomes the Street of Dreams for beer and cider fans. Taste the different offerings and then vote for your favorites. Add music and food, and you have one of the most popular events of the year. Tickets are on sale now at lakechelan.com, and all proceeds go to a local nonprofit organization. But hurry, last year's event sold out early.
Crystal's Intimate Lounge in downtown Leavenworth is a wonderful place to enjoy mouth-watering appetizers and drinks while socializing, watching sports, playing bingo, pull tabs, or simply relaxing while enjoying the breathtaking mountain views. Crystal's family-friendly restaurant has a warm environment to enhance your dining experience, serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner 7 days a week. Crystal's restaurant, lounge, and event space is located 2 blocks west of downtown Leavenworth on Highway 2.
Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog McNutty, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. Now, I'm in the grocery store one Saturday morning, and I need to use a regular check stand, not the self-check thing. Now, guess what? There's no check stand open. Does this business not realize that the check stands are where their money comes in, and taking my money for their stuff is what they're in business for, isn't it? Well, isn't that the point of their business, for them to offer me stuff that I'm willing to give them money for? You know, I know there's issues with getting enough employees, but there are people who work in these local businesses who've told me that they need more hours, but they and other employees' hours are being cut and they can't get enough. Now, I got no problem with a business working to improve their bottom line, but is it getting to the point that some businesses seem to have forgotten that they are dependent on customers like me, customers who have other options? And if it gets to the point where a business priorities tip the scales to where they think they're doing me a favor to take my money, well, there's little question as to why some businesses go belly up. This is Mike Mad Dog McNutty, and that's my opinion.
Elevate your savings at Boswell's. Right now, buy stressless recliners, sofas, and office chairs and earn up to $1,500 credit toward the purchase of additional stressless furniture. Or receive $400 off the purchase of any stressless signature base or cross-base recliner and ottoman. Don't wait. Shop Boswell's, 2915 Easy Street in Wenatchee.
Friday, September 29th. Check out the Reckless Ones coming up from Los Angeles.
Are you dealing with a pest or weed issue and you just don't know what to do?
We use the best pest control methods approved for areas with kids and pets.
Whether it's rats, mice, ants, or spiders,
or something else altogether.
We provide the coaching and solutions you're looking for.
And you can know that your dollars are supporting a local, family-owned and operated business.
Allow us to help you get back to living healthy and pest-free. Harvest Valley Pest Control.
Welcome back to the program. Jeannie Kerstetter is an old friend of ours. She is the executive director of the Hope Care Clinic. Haven't had a chance to talk to Jeannie in a long time for a couple reasons. Number one, you folks got a new home, and who's kidding who? This has been, last year has been kind of a pain in the rear end for your organization, hasn't it?
It's been rough, yeah.
Yeah. Walk me through the last year. First of all, you're at a new location, but that meant you didn't have a home at all for 8 months, something like that?
Yeah, so we had planned, we moved the end of May of 2022 and had planned for a 2-month closure and ended up being an 8-month closure, just with various things with, city, new property line adjustments and everything with our construction here. And so by the time we got open again, it was the first of the year, and as you know, anytime the longer a business or a nonprofit is closed, it takes a while to get the word back out that you're open. And so it was basically like opening a new clinic again. So we're up and running again though now, and gotten through the construction out here on the avenue too, and we think our new location will serve us well out here.
I think it's much better actually in the long run, because you were kind of very much off the beaten path at your old location down by the riverfront, but now you're right here on Wenatchee Avenue. Les Schwab's on one side, Smitty's is on the other. Maybe it's a good thing that you'll be moving on to new locales, because being right next door to Smitty's, you're probably going to put on about 30 pounds.
That we could do, yes. They served us well during our closure, yep.
So just a quick heads up, because it's been a couple of years since Ginny's been on the show. Give us a quick little recap of what exactly this fine organization, the Hope Care Clinic, does. Fill in the blanks to my viewers who may have forgotten.
Yeah. So we are still serving our community with dental, medical, and behavioral health services. I believe behavioral health services was added since you and I have talked and been on the show last. That's going well. That kind of came out of as a result of COVID. As we all know, there was a lot of loneliness and not a lot of seclusion, so we had a big request from our patients. And anytime we have a overwhelming, request from patients, we act on it. And so we started that up a little bit, here, a little bit there, and because of the closure and everything, but we're up and running now and serving patients in that behavioral health area too. So. Again, we're still appointment only, but we have started, just most recently started taking walk-ins. Reason being is because, we still get people that'll cancel and, for one reason or another, either sickness or lack of transportation in here. And so they will cancel their appointment, and then, we accept a walk-in and we're able to fit them in, and anytime we can get somebody relieved of pain or suffering and get them back to work the next day, that's what we're about.
A lot of organizations like yours didn't make it through COVID. They just kind of petered out, the donations dried up. The doctors and the professionals who provided those cares had more pressing things to do, obviously, but you guys are still around. That says something, doesn't it?
Yeah, we unfortunately had to close for 4 months, but the reason why was because probably 75% of our providers were retired, and so that became a high-risk, population then, and so. So we closed for 4 months. It gave us a chance to regroup and just kind of pivot everything, get the protective PPEs in place and everything so that we could open under the guidelines, And we've been open ever since, up till when we moved last year. And yeah, it was a struggle, but we felt like we were serving the population that needed to be served, and even more during COVID. So
the need has not changed, in other words.
Need has not changed. In fact, it's probably grown. There's a greater need, as you know, with the economy the way it is. People are losing jobs. People are, losing insurance and health benefits. So, and the price of everything has gone up too. And that's who we serve. We serve the underinsured and the uninsured. And so, that underserved is the single mom who's working a job and trying to support her family with no benefits, or same thing with the dad, so.
Perfect example. You come in, you say, Jimmy, my 7-year-old boy's got a bad tooth. I don't have $500. I got $50, and done.
Yep.
That kind of
and
deal.
we do. We try to keep our fees low. We're not sliding fee scale. We are. It's a nominal fee. You $30 for an extraction, $65 for a filling, and $20 for a medical visit. And actually, our behavioral health right now, we don't charge anything. We're just trying to work through everything. And down the road, we may have a fee with that. But again, with any patient that comes in, nobody's turned away, regardless of their inability to pay.
How is the piggy bank, by the way, right
well,
now?
That's why we do a fundraiser every year. We all know we have to keep our lights on and keep our doors open, and yeah.
And you got Glad Song, so kudos to you guys. Of course, Glad Song is Glad Song. They'll show up for anybody for a good cause. That's the kind of people they are.
Yeah.
The Glad Song Community Choir, I can't go anywhere in this community on a weekend without bumping into those folks. Yeah. They're going to be the entertainment on the 24th. Talk about the 24th.
They are. So we're excited. It's Sunday, September 24th at 6 p.m. at Calvary Crossroads Church. They're located on 1301 Maple Street. And we're going to have Glad Song as our entertainment. We'll have testimonial videos and hear an exciting announcement there. And
I have to keep that to myself. Sorry.
And we're even going to feed you. You'll get a great little charcuterie box, and we've got some raffle things there, and people just give generously, and we're inviting the whole community out. That's what we're here to do, is to serve our community, and we want people to know what we do at Hope Care Clinic.
Would this place even exist if this valley did not have, and this valley does have, a sizable amount of retirees from medical and dental practice? They're retired, but they still are good at what they do, and they want to give back to the community, and they're going to stay here even though they're no longer, working at wherever they are. If those guys don't exist, those guys and gals, you don't exist, really.
Exactly.
In that respect.
So we rely heavily on our volunteers. And you were saying retired. Yes, we do have retired dentists and providers. But probably I'd say 85 to 90% of them are people that give generously. They work a full day at the office and then come here and give their time to give back to our community. So because of our providers and assistants, nurses, whatever we have, that come here and volunteer their time, we would not exist.
You mentioned you're now into the behavioral health categories. Well, was it hard to find a professional to come in and take care of that new wing of the business, or was it you put the call out and people raise their hand?
Yeah, I actually had a personal connection with our behavioral health provider, and it was actually awesome how it ended up happening. We knew that there was a need there, and we had a pre-med student here at the time volunteering, and she approached me and she said, I understand you guys are starting behavioral health. I would love for my team, she had kind of a team at the hospital that she worked with, and there was 4 or 5 of them that worked together to get all the paperwork down, all the, worked with our behavior health counselor, Barbara Brink, and just got all the groundwork laid for us. All I had to do was step in and just, roll it out. So I can't thank them enough still to this day.
How does one get an invite to this party on Sunday, September 24th at 5:30 in the evening at Calvary Crossroads Church? How does one go about show up? Is that all you got to do?
Just show up.
That's my kind of wingding. Yeah, I like
right.
that.
Yeah.
No RSVPs, no nothing, and there'll be a big ask. They're going to ask you to, write a check.
Yeah, it is a fundraiser. We're not hiding that. It's our annual fundraiser, and that's what keeps our lights on and our doors open, and keeps us doing what we do for this community.
Why do you do what you do for this community?
Because I loved it.
There you go. That's
I knew there was a need here, in the community. We didn't have a charitable clinic here, almost 10 years ago when we started this. And I was doing overseas missions and realized that, wait a minute, there's a need right here in our community for something like this. And that's how Hope Care Clinic, actually we were under the Lighthouse Christian Ministries at that time, but in 2020, came out from underneath them and changed our name to Hope Care Clinic, and yeah, here we are today and still serving.
On all in all, more good days than bad, I'm assuming?
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yep.
So, That's what we like to hear.
Yes.
That's what we like to hear.
Yeah.
So, again, it is Sunday, September 24th at 5:30 at the Calvary Crossroads Church on Maple Street in Wenatchee. Show up, bring your checkbook, and listen to the great folks at Glad Song Community Choir. Have you seen these guys perform?
I have.
They're good.
Yeah.
They're good.
I'll give you a little secret.
Yeah.
One of them is our behavioral health provider, and she sings in there, and the other one is on our board, which happens to be her husband. So. Well,
I snuck into one of their shows. I'm thinking, okay, let's see what we got here, and they kicked it off with an unbelievable version. I can't remember what song it was. He goes, "You can't sing this song a cappella," and they did it, and they did it better than anybody I've ever heard.
Yes, they are.
So.
They're wonderful. So come join us September 24th at 6 p.m.
And they smile a lot too. When
They do.
Sing. You notice
Yes,
that?
yes,
they do.
they do.
Jenny,
Yep.
best of luck in all things going on. And again, Hope Health Clinic, this place, has a new home. They used to be down on Worthen or whatever it was, down by the
Columbia
down by the river. But they're right here at their brand new location. Les Schwab is on one side, Smitty's is on the other side. You can actually get in out of it now, which you couldn't do just a few weeks ago. And it's good to see you guys. You're still up and kicking.
Thank you, Dan.
Give these folks a hand. They need it. And we'll be right back.
Whether you're just dipping your feet or plunging right in, boating with a Sylvan pontoon boat is the way to go at Bob File Boats and Motors. Sylvan pontoon boats offer performance, reliability, and stability to take you, your family, and friends to the water in style. Sylvan pontoon boats have a wide variety of styles and layouts to suit your needs. See the full line of Sylvan pontoon boats at Bob File Boats and Motors on Sunset Highway in East Wenatchee or online at bobfile.com.
Oh, I guess we're back. Interesting transition there, Uriah. Okay, well, how are you? Temperatures around the region right now. This is a live show. We work without a net, folks. These things can happen. Down south in Ellensburg, it is 52 degrees. Ephrata is at 52. We mentioned here in the Wenatchee Valley, we could dip down into the upper 40s for the overnight low tonight and tomorrow night. I haven't seen an overnight low in the 40s. It's possible. You've already done it. Manson, you're right now at 46 degrees, and Dryden's at 49 degrees. It is beginning to feel somewhat autumnal. Again, we just have a couple more days. Today is summer. Tomorrow is summer. Friday is summer all the way till 11:50 in the evening. Friday, 10 minutes before midnight into Saturday. That's when the autumnal equinox comes our way. The autumnal equinox is never on the exact same date and time. It varies. And in this case, it's Friday night at 11:50, and then we welcome autumn. Now, as far as the wind is concerned, for you folks to the north of us today, you're going to have some windy conditions with some occasional rogue gust about 30 miles an hour. For today, it's mostly going to be relegated to the Okanagan Valley and the Waterville Plateau. Here in the Wenatchee Valley, we're only talking about a sustained wind of maybe 10 miles an hour, right around there. But as you can see to the north of us, the winds will be a little bit stronger coming out of the north. Then Thursday, not only is the Okanagan Valley and the Waterville Plateau going to have some windy conditions, but so is the Columbia Basin, and the wind will be a northeast wind. It'll be a little bit stronger. The sustained winds about 15 to 25 miles an hour for you folks in those areas, with gusts to 35 miles an hour. This is the second of the two fronts that are coming through our area before things calm down by the time we get to the weekend. In fact, we're going to warm back up again. But today is going to be a little on the cool side. From the National Weather Service, it looks something like this. Whatever rain we're going to get is kind of coming and going, but we're not out of the woods yet. We can get some light rain till about noon today. We will have some sun breaks this afternoon, but the clouds will have most of the attention today with the sun popping in and out. So we're going to call it partly cloudy skies and a high of 66. That's about 10 degrees below normal. 50 for the overnight low tonight. Many locations, sheltered valleys, Waterville Plateau, places like that. You're going to see the overnight lows in the 40s tonight. 71, lots of sunshine, a little breezy. It'll be windier Thursday in the Wenatchee Valley certainly than today. The wind will be all but done by Thursday night. Friday, it's looking pretty good. Nice night for football and a autumn weekend. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.